Hey everyone, welcome to Game Club, the show that's like a book club, but not really because we're talking about video games. With me as always, we've got a+start over here.
Hey guys.
And we got She Says on the other corner.
Howdy do.
Howdy doin' deedles. Today we're going to be talking about Overwatch, that one game with the guns and stuff. And She Says, why don't you give us a synopsis on what you think the game is about?
Oh no.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Let me pick up the Wicklepiddles.
No, you don't get a Wikipedia. We already decided this. You got to do
No.
off the cuff. Off the cuff.
I don't want this to be another Rocket Knight where I'm like, it's a game about a group of rats. Hold on.
Let's not oversimplify.
Overwatch summary.
Oversimplify Overwatch.
Oh, dude.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, you got this?
Yeah. Overwatch is a team-based multiplayer online first-person shooter video game developed and published by Blizzard Entertainment. You already know when it was released. Overwatch assigns players into 2 teams of 6, with each player selecting one of 24 defined characters called heroes, each with a unique movement, attributes, abilities, whose role... Attributes.
It's got some attributes. I like those attributes. They're very good.
Whose roles are divided into 4 categories: offense, defense, tank, and support. That's essentially it.
Cool. I just want to know what size those attributes come in.
Attributes.
Dude, I fluffed the joke. Move on.
I like that. You accidentally pronounced it correctly.
God damn.
It's too late. We got to move on from the joke then. So,
Yeah.
We do.
Andy, I guess you should probably first off say that you have what? A sore throat, a cold, a death?
Yeah. It's just a little raw. It's fine.
Yes.
You know, I can live. I
say
can live
it-
through this.
Maybe.
Did you say a little roar?
a
It's
little
a
roar.
roar.
I have a little roar.
Ow.
Grrr. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Okay, Overwatch. We're talking about Overwatch, right?
So anyways, guys, what did you think of the game? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I actually did. It was one of those games where everybody was talking about it when it first came out, and I kind of avoided the hype. And I always acknowledged that it was a nice-looking game, but I always kind of avoided it. And had it not been for this podcast, I don't think I would have ever gotten around to playing it. But
welcome.
I actually really enjoyed it. And it was instantaneous as well. It wasn't like it's like a slow build. It was the minute I started playing it, I was like, I really like this. I can see what the hype was about. So yeah.
Beta?
Good.
Yeah.
Well, mine is a little bit different because I had played Overwatch before this, quite a few months ago. I'm all still late in the game, but I played it some. Hadn't played it in a few months, so this was kind of me getting back into it. And I remember when I first played it, I was like, oh yeah, I agree. I know what the hype's about. It's great. I love it. But as I keep playing it and playing it and playing it, and realize that I'm not good at these kind of games,
Yeah.
I start to realize the shortcomings, which we can get into that later, but it's not, to kind of give a little hint, it's not Overwatch's fault of why I don't like Overwatch. And I'll leave it at that until.
Okay.
What about you, She Says?
I wasn't a huge fan of it. I kept losing to this real big jerk named Beta64.
So he wasn't that bad then.
Well,
You
no.
were
Well,
just
I'm
really
better
bad.
than the guy who just started playing last week. That
Yeah,
doesn't say much.
that stands to reason.
So I find that to be a design flaw. No.
Beta 64 winning is definitely a flaw, maybe a glitch.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
ba-bum.
Anyways, yeah, honestly, I was playing through it. I don't think I've gotten enough time to really dive into the nuances of the game. I did try to like really understand the game scope and what sets itself apart, but at a surface level, which I feel like I was never able to get below, it feels very similar to a game that I'm sure everybody watching this podcast knows what I'm talking about, which
I
is
don't know what you're talking about.
Team Fortress 2, which came
Never
out well before it, yeah. But yeah, that's where I feel about it at the moment.
Okay, well.
So, what are you saying? You
like it,
don't
you
like
don't
the
like
game,
it?
or you?
I hate it. No,
Oh man.
it's yeah. Where you say, Andy, that you understand where the hype's coming from. Me personally, I feel like I don't.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack because this is a super popular game.
No,
and,
this is fine. This is good, actually. If we
So
both
wait, that's
like
two.
it.
That's 2-1 then. So you guys don't like it, and I actually like it.
Well, there's a difference. I'm a like-dislike, so I'm like in the middle.
Okay.
So we're
Alright.
even across the board.
You're on the
here.
fence.
There we go. We got tiers of favorability.
Oh, I thought you were saying like crying. It's like we have tears. It's
I like it so much.
I don't know if I like
like it.
I have tears of joy. I have tears of sadness. I have tears of neutrality.
Oh man, okay, but I will say this is the kind of stuff that I liked about the game. Okay, the art style is fantastic. I think we can all agree on that.
Yes, absolutely. No, dude.
What is happening over on the She Says side?
So-
what don't you
Oh,
like
man, he's
about
become
it?
me. That's what's happening.
It's
So-
like Pixar. It's like
Exactly.
It's like a
That's-
first-person shooter.
That's
Pixar.
my problem with it.
You don't like
so,
Pixar? Are we going on that route now?
So here's my
I bet you
thing.
hate
is-
Up. I bet you hate
I love Blizzard, and I love their art style of Days of Old, and you know when Overwatch got announced, I was like, this is very Pixar-y, and then it was revealed that it was a Team Fortress-esque type game, and I'm like, well, Team Fortress technically based its art style off of animated films as well, so it's kind of like, man, this is so uninspired. It's like taking inspiration from something that already took inspiration from something. I mean, the graphics don't look bad, but to me, it's just like, yeah.
So I feel like, are you comparing this kind of like to Team Fortress 2 and you're finding it too similar and that's why you don't like it?
Yeah, and you know what? To anybody watching, including you guys, part of this discussion, I realize that's not a valid complaint. You really should just kind of check that at the door. But I'm just
you're not.
yeah, I'm not looking at this like a game reviewer. I'm just looking at this like an old regular chum, you know. So it's
Old
like
chum. Hey,
An old chum. Chum,
and yeah,
chum, chum.
those are just the feelings that just kind of cut through me as I was playing through the game, you know. So
yeah, but ignoring that, Andy, you really liked it, and that's the important part.
It doesn't matter what you think. You hate the game. So hey, what do you think? I actually really like the game. So everything I say is valid. Yeah, no, I love the art style. That was one of the immediate kind of like, wow, I'm really enjoying this game. Partly because of the art style. Every map is kind of like bright and kind of saturated and colorful, and that kind of appeals to me a lot. But yeah, just on a technical level, it looks like a nice game. I like the art style. It's very appealing to me. I can get that most people won't like it, and that's fine. If you're used to playing like, I don't know, Call of Duty or something like that, that is a more realistic stint on that genre. But I like what they did with it. I love the character design. Those models are so clean, and the designs are just like, they're very memorable.
Yeah.
It's to the point where I had never played the game before, but I knew who these characters were, just and I hadn't really paid attention to the game for, when did it come out? Has it been out for a year, 2 years now?
I think a year or two. Yeah, I remember seeing it at E3 2016. So yeah, I think it's been a year.
So for somebody who hadn't really paid attention, these characters were instantly recognizable to me. So that speaks to the character design and how well thought out I think they are. They're all completely different as well. So
that's my thing about it. It's like every character has its own backstory, its own kind of backstory. Let's talk about the backstory. Have you seen the Overwatch like videos for the backstories of each characters? They're on
a
YouTube.
long time ago.
I kind of skipped that.
Really, I watched them. Not because on my own time. My friends were really, really into Overwatch, so I would be in their room and they'd be like, "Oh gosh, a new Overwatch one has come. Let's watch it." But they are so well made. The stories are actually really good, and it gives each character life, in my opinion. But here's one of my problems, though. You gave the character so much life and so much emotion and feeling in these videos, and all the voices and all the voice acting and all of that and all the character designs are great, but still, it's just a character in a Team Fortress 2 kind of game. It's like it's like I feel these emotions for the characters outside of playing Overwatch, and then I play Overwatch and I'm like, I don't see it.
So what you're saying is you wish there was some single player content.
Kind of. I kind of just wish they had taken this. I feel like the game and the story are separate.
Right.
It's like I feel like the characters exist outside the game and their shells are put in the game. Does that make sense?
No, I can completely agree with that. I see where you're coming from now. Yeah, it is very. That was one of my complaints with the game, is the fact that it is online all the time, and you don't really get this. There is no narrative really outside of going out and seeking these videos. Like I said, I skipped that, so I completely agree with what you're saying. I didn't know who these characters were apart from how they looked, and I was kind of left to make up my own story, I guess, for that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus, what do you think?
Well, I agree with you guys completely, and that's the caveat, is like you can learn more about these characters if you go and seek out these videos. But what if you're casually going into this? You know, if you buy the game without any pre-context of these videos that exist on the internet, how do you learn about these characters? You know, they're so wildly unique and memorable looking, but on the other hand, you don't learn anything about them. It's just for the competitive online multiplayer. But it's priced fairly, for the record. You know, if it was a full $60 game for just the base title, and all you got was the online multiplayer, yeah, I'd probably have a problem with that. But I only had to pay $40 to just get the basic package, and when you reduce the price for the lack of a single player, we're good. You know, I don't have a problem with that.
See, my thing is I go back to Splatoon. 1 second. I go to Splatoon, and I would say that they did. I hate to compare them because they're two completely different kinds of games, but I'm looking at it as a online game, basically. They're both attempting to be mostly online game. But Splatoon does it differently in the fact that it has a storyline, and even though these characters are like completely soulless, I would say. Like
you might want to rephrase there.
Okay, the Splatoon characters, they don't really. There's like the shop owners.
I'm sorry, I thought you meant the Overwatch characters.
Oh no. I'm talking about Splatoon. Like, they're soulless characters in a way, but the single player campaign, it makes you feel like you're fighting for people, and it makes you feel like you're invested in the world. You feel like you're saving someone.
You feel like you're fighting for soulless people in a soulless world.
but the characters that you have, like Callie and Mari, and the old guy, shop owners and
Captain
stuff like that.
Cuttlefish.
Yeah, those.
I'm sorry, we're way off track. Anyways.
Yeah, but I'll circle it around. I'll circle it around.
Comparison is
what I'm saying is that created a world that I felt at home with, I guess, kind of in a way. I felt like when I went to Splatoon and I was playing a Splatoon, I wasn't just playing a game. I was playing with a world. Overwatch doesn't feel like that. I don't feel like I'm a part of a world. I feel like I'm playing on stages with characters.
So I actually disagree a little bit there. I feel like every time I go into one of these stages, I feel like I'm dropping myself into a pre-established world, you know? I feel like there's a lot of stories, or rather like events that happened around me, and I'm not given the context, but I see the aftermath. You know?
I guess I should rephrase in the fact of, as I agree, it's an aftermath and events took place, but what are the events happening now?
Right, exactly.
I don't feel like there's anything going on besides us randomly fighting each other in these worlds that things happened in, but aren't happening in now.
And again, I think that comes back to Blizzard just assuming the times and just like saying to themselves, well, internet exists, people can find us on the internet, people know who we are, so if they want to learn more about Overwatch, they can watch these pre-made cinematic cutscenes and probably read about the lore in other areas. But again, you know, if we're to propose a complaint, you know, you should have all that content on your game itself as well, you know, for less savvy. But I can't argue the fact that it is there. It's, you know, it's out there.
It is there, and they did put a lot of work into it.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
So you just, the moral of the story, Google it.
Yeah.
Just Google it.
It's a thing. Yeah, I mean, I now realizing that they do have a backstory to them, I kind of wish I'd have invested in that, and it's something I will do after this, I imagine.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm gonna still play this game. I found it quite addictive.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
You?
I know. Well, you know what this reminded me of? It reminded me of the times when I was a kid and used to play GoldenEye. It just did a much bigger scale.
Man.
Yeah, exactly. And I gotta admit, I had the same kind of feeling with this game. And I don't know if you guys want to segue into like the gameplay.
Oh yeah, we can.
But I felt like it was very just. They do have like a tutorial kind of like teach you how to play the game section. I kind of skipped that and just went straight into it. And while I didn't completely understand all the special things, because there's a lot going on in this game, I knew enough from having played that kind of game previously what I was doing, and you kind of just it's very beginner friendly. But then I was like, okay, I get how the game works. Let's learn more, because I didn't want to keep getting killed by random things. So yeah, I thought it was very user friendly.
I agree with that, because the gameplay in Overwatch, I will say this, it's spot on. I love it. I love how every single character is completely different than the other characters.
Yeah.
Because you've got like D.Va, who has a shield that can block all projectiles, mostly bullets, and it has a boost that you can use to fly and go up in the air and come down. And there's also oh gosh, what is her name? Farrah.
Unforgettable characters, folks.
Unforgettable character number 15. No, but there's like other
There's
characters.
literally a character named Agent 17.
Okay, I'm going to completely sorry about this. Revolver guy can shoot
McCree.
one bullet or
Yeah.
6 bullets. McCree,
Yeah.
there we go. And then you have Mercy, who can heal people or buff them up and still shoot with a pistol. Every single character is different. So
I liked that about the game. I really did. I kind of so the very first time I was playing, I guess because Tracer is the pinup for this game, the kind of mascot character for this game, I kind of decided, no, I don't want to play as her. I want to play as somebody else. I don't want to be the mascot character. Actually. So I did it once, and I didn't really like her, to be honest. The first character I played as was McCree. And I thought, okay, cool. So I played with him for a little bit. Then I did choose D.Va for a couple of rounds. Then I moved on to Farrah. She was okay. But the character I eventually just like settled on for a bunch of matches was Bastion. I just liked how you could just kind of place yourself in.
You're one of those.
And be,
Which one?
and just.
Which
Bastion's like the kind of robot kind of character with a little bird on the menu.
Oh, okay. Birds!
Guy that can literally murder everyone.
Yeah, I just, he's very slow, but I like just being able to plant myself as a turret and just nuke people.
So
I ended up, doing that a lot.
You're one of those.
Yeah.
This is this is a fun part of the discussion, is our character paths. So I also started with McCree, and very quickly decided I actually don't like him that much. And then like I tried to do other characters, and like I brought people in from my Twitter to play with me, and every single time I picked a character, they're always like, "Oh no, not that one." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna try Widowmaker." "Oh no, she's not a good one." I'm like, "All right, fine, I'll pick Genji." Oh, I'm like, come on.
Oh, no.
Yeah, really.
Wow.
All right, fine. The flagship character there, Tracer. Like, all right, fine. Whatever. Fine, no problem. So then, I really, and to be fair, they were right. I was really bad with those characters. But yeah, I ended up landing on Reaper, and I wanted to record more characters for the footage, but I just was terrible with every other character. So you'll see a lot of Reaper if we end up using my footage. I don't know.
I didn't record any.
Did you?
I didn't. I can, but yeah.
No, it's all good. So we'll just use my footage, and the viewers will probably understand completely why I had a disposition towards the game. She says just really bad at it. No,
He just sucks.
Yeah, for real, you were killing it as Widowmaker.
What? You mean
were killing
Reaper?
it. Reaper, that's what I'm saying. Reaper. Same person.
Yeah. Yeah, I was doing really good with Reaper. Like his just all of his abilities are just too simple, It's like okay, it's like I need a shotgun character because that's usually what I'm better with, or a sniper character. But people were telling me that sniper characters in Overwatch are not viable, or at least they're hard to use. So you know, I was deterred from using Widowmaker and stuff like that. But Reaper is more of a shotgun type character who can move around quite a bit, and also his special ability is just super simplistic. And which, if anybody doesn't know watching this, essentially all characters have special abilities that you can build up by pulling off shots on other characters. And Reaper's special ability is he just basically kills everything in his vicinity.
Yeah,
basically
it.
You push a button and he just shoots everything around him, and there's no aiming involved, and it's very like it's a lot of damage. And the only caveat there is that people can kill you while you're trying to do it. So, which doesn't happen often. It only happened when I was trying to beat Beta 64.
Because I knew what you were doing.
Yeah. So
I've been around the park block.
He knew. So, how about you, Beta? Who did you?
I started off with Diva. Because I like tank characters. I like to be able to not die in one hit, which we'll also get to later. I started with her, and then I started doing support characters because I'm usually better with support because I'm not very good at aiming.
Right.
It's just I've never been very good at aiming in first-person shooters. I don't know why. So I like to have things that are either really spread out machine gun kind of things like Diva, or I like to be support and I can just kind of aim wherever. So Mercy was kind of my big thing. And then I kept doing other characters, McCree, Bastion. I suck as Bastion. Believe it or not, the character that everyone is like, oh, it's the beginner character, you can easily play as him. I suck as him.
Yeah, Bastion.
I didn't do too bad as him. That's why I stuck with him, because I realized I was just doing better with him. So everybody else, I was, just dying left, right, and center. But I realized the thing about Overwatch is it's also not your typical kind of first-person shooter kind of game.
For sure.
It's very much a team effort, which I didn't really know going in. So what I would tend to do is just like during a match, before the match actually kicks off, you're all in one place, and then everybody just kind of can spread out. But it's advised that you stay together as a team.
Yeah.
So if you do, it's a lot easier if there's 6-on-1 rather than 1-on-1. So that was kind of a learning curve for me. I kind of decided, oh, okay, I'll just follow everybody else. And then once I was playing as Bastion, I was kind of like just hiding out. I like to play capture the flag a lot, so I would kind of like hide way off in the distance so I could see our flag, and anybody who got near it, I was just like turn into a turret and just blow them to hell. That was how I would do it, and that was a very serviceable way of playing.
It works. It definitely works.
Yeah.
No.
So
let's talk about okay. Let's talk about okay. Let's talk about online aspects of the game. I have a very strong opinion, which I figured I'll go last on that. But what did you guys feel about the online system?
I don't know, really. I feel it works. I don't know. It's the only kind of games that the modes that I would play were capture the flag and what was it, like the payload one where you got to get the truck from one place to another. I really enjoyed those. Just straight up like deathmatch kind of situations didn't really appeal to me. I like having an objective that isn't just murder everything. So those are the modes I played the most. I felt like it was a very, very diverse amount of levels in there. For instance, like there'd be me. The highest I got was level 9. I only played for about 4 hours, maybe 5 hours during the week. So I only managed to reach like level 9. But there'd be like people level 92, and I'd be like, wow, this is. I'm glad you're on my team because I'm gonna get screwed otherwise. So yeah, it was maybe they could have handled that better. There is a mode, I don't remember which, where it does try to balance your levels and find people who are equally matched. I didn't find that worked as well for me. But hey ho.
So what I was trying to do was trying to get people from Twitter to come to a private game, and also later on I did this with you, Beta 64, and you had your people, and it all works. You can eventually get to what you need to do. I've seen games that are a little more intuitive with online functionality. For example, if it's a private server, you should be able to talk to everybody, even if they're on the opposite team. I understand why there's that restriction, especially if you're playing like a ranked match. That would make no sense to be able to communicate amongst all people. But if there's nothing at stake here and you're just playing with friends, I want to be able to talk to all my friends. I can't even do that. I can't even take the conversation out into Blizzard's instant messenger type service because it works. It coincides with Overwatch to make sure that I can't speak to people in my own chat room. I thought that was a little annoying, but understandable. Another thing too was lobbies are just a tad strange. Yeah, it's like you can't really pick, like you can pick and choose, but it's just the way you have to navigate the menus to do it is just a little awkward. But for the record, this is nitpicking, but I was asked what did you think of how the online works, and that was what my experience was.
You ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we go. Strap yourselves in, boys.
Okay, here we go. Get the seatbelts. Okay. So, I have always disliked multiplayer games that are online. Always. And I'll tell you why. Because, well, okay, I shouldn't say always. There were a couple games. Lord of the Rings Conquest was really good online. That was about it. You'll get there. You'll get there. Have you played Lord of the Rings Conquest?
No.
I didn't even know it existed.
It's gone now. It's
Jinx,
dead.
you owe me a Coke, Andy.
But basically, online multiplayer has always been just counterintuitive to me for the following reasons. The guy who literally wrote these down. Video games are designed to give you a challenge that you can overcome, not easily, but can still overcome. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's what makes a video game fun. It's the feeling of working towards a goal, not quite being able to make it, but you're almost there, and then you made it. It's like defeating a final boss and you got only 2 HP left. You're like, wow, that was a really good final boss. Okay? Online multiplayer, it's not the developer's fault. It's just the fact of the way it is. It's impossible to tell what kind of challenge you're going to get. It's impossible. Yeah. You don't know who you're going to get in your match. You don't know what level they're going to be. What are you going to do? Now, do you have something to input?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I see where you're going with this, but the thing with online multiplayer is it's going to be a huge challenge, and it's going to be a very rewarding experience if you overcome it. The thing is, like, I get what you're saying. You can't choose your own skill level. Games will try to do that, but it's inconsistent, is what you're saying.
Yes, that's a main problem I had with Overwatch, especially when I was with my Twitter followers. Okay, like I had these matches where I played with my Twitter followers online. So I didn't do it quite the same way you did, she says. But one of my Twitter followers was level 90 something. Okay? Mm-hmm. I'm here little level 11 with a few people at level 10, level 20, something like that. It paired us up with level hundreds.
Yeah, that's not gonna work out well.
There's no because Overwatch bases it when you have a group on the person with the highest level. No matter how many of the lower levels. It doesn't average, it doesn't do any of that. So I'm sitting there, it's impossible to win any of them. And I'm not really kind of guys like, I gotta win these games, these online multiplayer games. But it's like, if you're not gonna win, it's hard to go through the game and have fun.
Yeah, well, this is, you're right, this is a problem across, you see it as a problem. that goes across all video games. I'm gonna try to keep it to Overwatch and not try to make comparisons to other games. So with Overwatch, you're just gonna have to commit to it. Like any other online game, you just gotta keep going at it. Experience failure a lot. Clearly, pairing yourself up with a high level player ends up working against you, as you just said. So in the end, what you have to do is just say la vie to that high level player and try to match up in playgrounds.
But I shouldn't have to say to my friend, "Hey, quit the game so I can win."
Yeah, I hear you. But that there's your solution, I suppose. And that's the thing though, is you play the game more. You develop a skill of your own, and then you could take that with your friend and hey, you know what? Actually, if you pair yourself with your friend and you get good really fast, there's nothing in Overwatch to set you below someone at a higher skill level, quote unquote. And if you're now, someone in the comment section might be able to tell me I'm completely wrong about this, but in lots of other games it's like this. So I'm just gonna go off on this assumption. If you're paired with high level players and you win the match or you perform well, you might get more experience than you would have if you played at lower level. That's how it works with a lot of fighting games.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
But see, that's the thing though. Is like, I think there is options there to at least on the majority, pair yourself with people at your own skill level, but even with that said, online games in general are difficult. Like they have a huge barrier of entry. You oftentimes do find yourself paired against people that have more experience with the game than you do, have learned exploits in the game that you don't know yet. And if someone has a huge bucket list of stuff they know about the game to use against you, and you're just going in fresh, then yeah, it can be overwhelming. It can be a very overwhelming experience. In Overwatch, I didn't get that sensation. There is only one instance in which I did get that feeling, sort of, and it wasn't with online matching and being overwhelmed by players that just knew better than me. It was just the bevy of characters. Now, I'm not going to say that having a wide variety of characters is a bad thing, but coming into it as a fish out of water, it's kind of daunting to see all these characters, and you're like, well, what does everybody do? You know, what's the character that's good for me? And you know, again, you get your money's worth when you take the time to invest in all the characters and see exactly the answer to that, which is which character works for me. But if you're just trying to, like, you know, try it out, to see what's going on, there's just a lot of options, you know?
See, I guess I should say that because of this online multiplayer thing, it's not that I don't like Overwatch. I really do like Overwatch. I swear to all you audience. But
I promise.
I promise. It's just what I mean is, it's a typical pitfall that I find in all online multiplayer games. And I don't think there's anything Overwatch could have done about it. There are steps you can take where, like, doing the average thing with an entire group of people, or you could have it where see, I don't think video games do this, but I feel like you should take experience points, yes, as a good way of telling your level, but I also think it should be hours played. You know, if you're in a way, I feel like there's things you can do to help it. Like if you're paired up with someone who has played the game 15 hours just like you, and they have roughly the same level, then they're a good fit.
But here's the one drawback to that theory is someone can play like over 200 hours of Overwatch, but also just be a completely bad player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What if it drew parallels from both of those statistics? How long you've played and what your level is.
Right.
Yeah.
But like,
I
guess somebody who's terrible at the game is not going to be a level 50. You know, I just don't believe that would happen.
Sure, but like that's the thing though, is like if we're working in time played as part of this equation, you know, again, what if you're like a rank 2 but you have over 500 hours of, well, that's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Let's say like rank 12 and 500 hours of Overwatch. For some reason you're just that bad, you know. Wouldn't it be unfair to be 500 hours into Overwatch and now you're being paired against really experienced players just on the reason that, you know, you've played it too much? It's almost like you're kind of like sinking into well, I was gonna say it's like you're standing on a sinking ship, you know.
Yeah, I could see that. It's hard from a game developer standpoint. Making an online multiplayer game where you're paired up with people of your same skill level is really hard to do. And I'm not saying it's Overwatch's fault or if this isn't even a negative point for Overwatch. This is just a personal opinion of online multiplayer games. It's
Did
just
you say
that
mom line?
Mom line. When my mom line multiplayer games. See, I don't actually have online. It's censored, so I do mom line.
I'm subscribed to America Mom Line.
Stop playing those games.
That's literally, mom just comes up. It's like, excuse me, you've been playing for too long. Get your heads off the screen now.
Hey, Andy.
Yeah.
On Twitter, you mentioned something about how there's a good reason why I should cover this as a boundary break episode. Do you want to Just
Oh yeah, purely based on what we were talking about earlier. Just about I love the maps. The maps are kind of they're reasonably sized, I would feel, and I just thought taking a magic camera around those would be really cool. There's a lot of I like the way that just before you go into a certain map, they kind of have the key art for it, I guess. Just kind of and they're always nice shots, and I just thought, wow, this is. Even before somebody mentioned it, I was like, "Wow, this would be really cool if you did this."
Yeah, I was really surprised because I was like, "Oh, cool, a spectator camera. Let's do this." And then like there was actually invisible walls for the spectator camera.
Yay.
I get that actually. I'm not mad at the developers by any means. It makes perfect sense. It's like they want to not break the immersion. But I'm
Your
actually
whole design is to break the immersion.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm used to video games, especially like again, we've done really good about not bringing up this little competitor over here, but Team Fortress 2 is an example where you can use. I think you can use a spectator camera, and you can literally take it anywhere inside the map. So I was like, I'm very used to games just doing that. But kudos to the developers for trying to keep the immersion intact.
Alive. They put a ton of work into Overwatch.
Oh, I can definitely tell that.
So much work.
Yeah.
Like every aspect of this game is just loaded with inspiration and love.
There's a lot of detail.
It's
really nice details.
It's definitely loaded with inspiration. I'll give you that.
And love. Inspiration and love. I can tell the people who made the game loved what they did. They like if you once again, my friends played Overwatch a lot, so we watched videos on the secrets of Overwatch, those kind of things.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Whoa. The secrets of Overwatch.
But there's so many small details. Like, I remember this one specifically. There's a video on, I think, Hanzo's backstory, the bow and arrow guy, and he shoots an arrow into a wall in the video for like half a second. It's literally and starts moving. That arrow is in the map.
Oh, really?
They went to the trouble of putting a single arrow for like half a second of video in a map.
Wow, that's some deep lore right there.
That's what I'm saying. There's so much dedication in this game. So much desire to make it like a full world with every aspect of the game. Every corner has something in it. And I think, honestly, it's kind of a shame that you just play on the maps. You don't get to spend the time of just enjoying the world that you're in.
Yeah. See, now if I could cover it as a boundary break episode, that could totally change.
Here's Blizzard.
Yeah, really.
Exactly. Make it happen.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know what would have been cool? This is just off the
record.
Off the cuff.
Yeah, off that. But I feel like if you had it where there was kind of a hub world kind of thing, where you like walked around the maps and you could choose like places to go based on that, that would have been so cool.
Yeah.
Or like, because I know there's like training modes where you can get a feel of different stages or skirmishes and stuff like that. But I feel like having the world alive with a bunch of people in it and you're just walking around as your characters and talking with that, I feel like that alone would have made the game just feel so much more like a world.
Yeah, just take inspiration from Zelda 2,
Or Bubsy.
Oh, dude. Here we go. Here it comes.
There we go. Bubsy time.
No.
You know what Overwatch needs to be more like? Bubsy. If they had
Inherited
Bubsy
velocity.
in it, oh boy. Oh god, every episode.
I think I'm thinking of Destiny when I say that. Have you ever played Destiny? I haven't. I've seen people.
I haven't.
My friends have Destiny. My friends have a lot of games.
We all have destinies.
Yeah, but not this kind. Not this kind, Andy.
Not this kind. This guy's got guns.
But yeah, Destiny kind of does something like that, where it's like you walk around these worlds, these kind of hub worlds, and you can still attack people and stuff like that. But you have these worlds with people walking around and doing stuff, and if you did it like that, and I guess also kind of like Splatoon, that would have alone made the game versus just a bunch of menus.
And for the record too, one might argue, that's not what Overwatch is meant to be. Overwatch is just meant to be a team-based multiplayer game, and that's what it ended up succeeding in. And I would say like, yeah, sure. I mean, you can make that point because that's exactly what the product ended up becoming. But it just seems like the developers really, really, really want to build immersive worlds and characters with a heck of a lot of personality to them. You know, so it just kind of seems that it's such a shame that they're stifled by the format of the game that they're present in. You know?
Yeah.
Just very glossed over, aren't they? Just, you know, it's kind of almost irrelevant. The game treats it as it's irrelevant, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
you don't need to know any of the story.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, why? It's like, why put it there if you don't want people to engage with it?
Yeah,
You know, 'cause
it's
that's
really a shame.
Yeah, it is. It is a shame. That's a detail that somebody sat around going, right, this character has this past and this past, and you know, it's like, why would you not indulge in that somehow in the game? Like, the game even opens with a small cutscene that just is a general, like, story, you know, like, this is what Overwatch is, and this is who they are, blah, 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 blah. But that's as far as it goes. There's no, like, hidden things. It should be almost like, well, I guess if they were going to do what I'm going to suggest, it would be more of a single-player game, but when you choose a hero, it gives you the backstory. It gives you that little cinematic, this is who they are.
Yeah.
And then you go into the game. But again, like I say, that is more of a single-player kind of ideal.
The problem is what they base it off of. Being online multiplayer, you don't have a whole lot of time.
Exactly.
You're just going in between matches, left, right, go, go, go. Which is why I think it would have been cool to have like an area where you could just relax in Overwatch, besides being a menu.
Yeah.
But I didn't develop this game. I'm sorry, Blizzard.
No, honestly,
Hire me, Blizzard. This is the whole point of Game Club Podcast, is just to get me a job with one of these game companies.
But I will say this, as a game, I didn't really, until we started talking about it and going over the fact that, yeah, there isn't really a narrative to this that's in your face, I didn't really think about it, to be honest. I did kind of acknowledge that, yeah, we are just fighting in these maps, and what's the relevance? Because some of them are like joined. There are different areas of the same place, and it's like, well, what's the relevance of that? And it's never touched upon, so it would have been interesting to see that firsthand. But
again,
as a game, I was fine with that. I just I took it as a game and just enjoyed it.
And again, all these resources are available to us, so you know before anyone rages on their keyboard and says like, but you can learn about the characters.
And we will.
We get
I
it.
will.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we get it. Well, I think the only thing, and again, it's a nitpick. It's not a genuine complaint that needs to be addressed, but just a little nitpick of mine is if I'm not 100% invested in Overwatch, and I'm coming into the product for the first time, it would have been nice if those resources were just available on the package itself. That's all.
Yeah.
And I know that Team Fortress 2 doesn't do that, and I actually was made a fan of that series. But I'll still make the same complaint towards them. It's like you have all these great videos that introduce each character of the franchise. Why aren't they available like in the actual game? Because again,
just in a menu somewhere. There's a few menus. They could have just slapped it in there.
They got plenty of menus. What do you so
There's
many.
some story.
Yeah, slippity slap.
But I think we can all agree, Overwatch's gameplay though is fantastic, right?
Yes.
We can all agree with that.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's so
pretty
very.
She says.
There's something for everybody, and I do agree with what you were saying about the it is an online game and it is mismatched sometimes, but I do feel that there's something for everybody and every skill level. My opinion on it being so mismatched is it didn't really affect me as much. I didn't find that to be such a burden. I didn't enjoy getting killed every 5 seconds in some places, but I just think, just get good, I guess.
Get
I was like,
good.
cool.
Wow. Okay.
I just kind of saw it as a challenge, and I was like, I'm going to stick with this because I realized that I'm
It's
at
true.
a low level. I need to be higher level. It's as simple as that. So I just, you just got to keep fighting.
Yep, I admit, like I would never fault the game for me losing all the time, even though I said so in jest. I really don't. I have to put more time into the game. I have to take more time to understand the characters.
Yeah.
And if I can't line up my shot with a keyboard and mouse, then I'm playing the wrong genre of games. So
That's before we move on from that. I think that's something to touch upon as well, because you guys you were both playing it on PC and I was playing it on PS4.
Yeah, but I was playing with a controller.
Oh, okay. So wow. So All right.
Well, I
Just throw that one out.
Yeah, that threw you for
Get
a
rid of
loop.
that.
No, but I played with a keyboard and mouse, so you know what? We got like a trifecta here again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what were you
We're
gonna
so
ask?
perfect together.
I just wondered if there was any big difference. A lot of PC gamers will say like a keyboard and mouse is the perfect way to play a game. I'm more comfortable with a controller, and I just wondered if
Agreed,
you
Andy.
feel maybe you know. Actually, Beta, you're probably the best person to ask them because at some point you must have played this with a keyboard and
Oh
mouse.
yeah, we'll put it this way. I bought an Xbox 360 controller recently, very recently, to play Overwatch with actually. And
Wow.
it was like $10. I scored a
What?
deal. Yeah. It was-
Yeah, that's a bargain, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's wicked.
Yeah.
So I
So-
bought it for Overwatch because I had always played with the keyboard and mouse, and I was just meh. So I was like, I wonder if I can do better with the controller. By far, I did better. So
Wow.
much better.
That's
I
interesting.
could splatter She Says all over the map.
Well, I don't know if that
That bad,
ever
huh?
happened.
You have no proof that one ever happened.
I do. I have the footage. Let's
Oh,
review
you
the
see,
tapes.
everyone.
First-hand evidence. It will never
Exactly.
hold up in court.
But yeah,
So-
it's
No.
It's,
No.
no.
No. Those matches were like baby's first hunter, or like baby's first hunt. So it's like
Baby's first
all
hunter.
of your fans basically wounded me. They like basically shot me in the legs, and they were like, "Go ahead, Beta,
And then I came up with
Finish him off.
get your trophy, Beta." And you're like, "Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo."
Guess who's gonna level up?
"Yeah, really."
but
People in the footage will see.
the point is I agree that a keyboard and a mouse are much more accurate, so much more accurate.
Yes,
But I'm not good at it because that's not the way I played. I used to play GoldenEye with the one stick.
Yeah.
okay,
then I-
Grandpa.
And then I played with the two sticks. And then
Back
I got
in the day,
Yeah,
back
back
in
in
the
the day,
day-
we only had one.
we had one analog stick, and if that one broke, well, we were all screwed.
Dude, hey, you know what? This is a Blizzard game, and you just sound like Deckard King.
Hey, I
From-
have no idea who that is.
I don't know who that is either.
Well, people watching this will probably figure it out. It's from
Everyone in the comments is gonna say, "We have no idea what you're talking about." she
Deckard
says."
King from the Diablo series. Is like, "Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen." That's how he sounds. So, all right. Well, anyway, I'm
Yeah,
I'm
but she
alone
said
on this.
You played
Yeah.
with the keyboard and mouse. What's your thought on that?
Dude, I was wrecking like high-profile YouTubers left and right. It was insane.
Yeah, or just one in
Really, what
particular,
game were
huh?
you playing?
Nice. No, it works, man. Actually, one disadvantage I had, and I'm not using this as an excuse for, I'm not Johning you. I'm not using it as an excuse for me losing. But my mouse pad, for some reason, there's just like one sweet spot on it that stops the mouse. So,
That's
you
not
know,
good.
It's a
Yeah.
handicap as such. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
it's-
little.
Yeah.
It's
Just
to
a
keep
tad,
you
but-
from killing everyone.
Right. Every time I did not kill Beta, it took you through was the mouse pad. No, but seriously, PC games just need to be first-person shooter games. Essentially, they're bread and butter. And I know it takes a little bit of time to adapt, especially if you weren't doing this as a kid. But yeah, I hear this story all the time. People being like, I cannot do keyboard and mouse FPS games. I have to put on a controller. And I strongly recommend that you don't do that. But I get it. You know, it's just something that some people, like... I've made an analogy to this before, and I'm not going to go off track. I'm just going to throw away that point. But,
I'm just gonna just.
but yeah, people just like what they're used to. It's if you're used to using like two analog control, you know, Xbox 360 similar style controller all your life, you're probably not very comfortable moving onto a keyboard and mouse if you're like 20 or 30 years old at this point. You know,
You're too old to learn something new.
it's essentially that you have to you have to challenge yourself to pick up those new controls. It's gonna take a couple of hours, and it's usually not
I
a
don't
very
got that kind of time.
yeah, exactly. It's probably not a very
Ain't nobody got time for that.
it's probably not a very appealing proposition, especially when you're trying to just learn the game itself. But I recommend that learning the keyboard and mouse for first-person shooter games. It's a skill that carries itself over to every first-person shooter game that you play henceforth. So I do recommend. that you gentlemen take some time and play the better control setup.
Oh God!
Well,
wow!
that leads me that leads me lovely into this next question. Are you guys going to continue playing this game?
Beta, you want to take that first?
No. I gotta
that's
think
you
about
done.
it. No, I gotta. No, it's not that. Okay, I don't have the time to invest into Overwatch. It's
Can
just,
you
it's,
say that more snobbish?
I just
I'm
don't
too
have the
busy to
time
give
to
a
invest into Overwatch. I have Game Club podcasts. I have Beta 64. Not to mention my glorious Twitter followers.
Excellent.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the fact of this is the reason why I wouldn't play. I love Overwatch. I even clap my hands for that one. I love Overwatch. It's a good game. It's one of the better first-person shooter games I've played because I'm a third-person shooter kind of guy. But
Yeah.
when first-person shooters go, this is my favorite by far of all the first-person shooters. It's just the fact that online multiplayer games, as we've said before, the reason why I don't like them is because I suck. That's really the reason. Because I don't have the time to dedicate. All these people have played Overwatch hours and hours and hours, and I don't even know if I've logged 10 hours in that thing over the months I've had it. It's because I just don't have the time to invest in it and just sit down like, okay, I am literally going to learn to play Overwatch. I don't have that kind of time. I'd rather just sit down and play, I don't know, Splatoon or something. Or even, golly, I don't play a lot of first-person shooters, do I? It's basically Splatoon. But that's my thing. It's not that I don't like Overwatch. It's just, at this point, I think I'd only play with friends. Because I find fun in playing with friends. Even if I suck, at least I'm having fun with people. Versus playing online with complete strangers, I don't have fun.
Right.
Because I suck.
So for me,
End.
I'm probably not going to go back to it unless I cover it as a boundary break episode. It's just because, and I don't know why I keep making this like preface, but I know we haven't talked about Team Fortress 2 pretty much at all during this podcast. I'm pretty proud of that. But now it's time to make it as relevant as it possibly can be.
Oh my, he's going for it.
Here he goes. He's going all
Here
in.
we go, strap in.
Don't worry, Overwatch fans.
Dive.
It's like Coke and Pepsi, okay? I'm not gonna say that one's better than the other. I bet you know what? Maybe Overwatch could be better than Team Fortress 2. But here's where my problem is. I took plenty of time to understand all the little nuances and character abilities to Team Fortress 2. So if I want to play a team-based shooter, I'm gonna naturally gravitate towards Team Fortress 2 because I'm very familiar with it, and I can, kind of go toe and toe with people at the high skill level range because I took that time. With Overwatch, it's kind of like doing a clean slate. I gotta figure out everything all over again. There's way more characters than there is for Team Fortress 2, so understanding, I think it's like 6, maybe I might be wrong, but like around 6 classes for Team Fortress 2. Now imagine trying to pick up like probably roughly 20 characters. I'm probably also wrong about that number as well.
No, there's more now.
Okay.
And they're adding more as DLC too.
It's like 24, something like that.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, in the 20s. So like imagine trying to figure out all that. Early adopters of Overwatch eased into every character that comes out. So it's like, there was probably a small collection of characters to start. They got really familiar with those. And then since they got so invested in this game, every new character that comes in, they're excited to learn about that character because they've been pining for some new content. But I came in with 24 characters from the get-go. That's just way too much to deal with. And like I said, if I didn't have a very similar game to fall back on and say like, well, hey, I understand Team Fortress 2. There's no more learning here. I just got to keep playing and get good. With Overwatch, it's different. It's like, not only do I have to adapt, get good, but I also have to take all this time to learn 24 characters and more on the way. So it's, like I said, if it was the right time and place, I bet you Overwatch would have been a very addictive game for me. But considering that I have so many years of experience with Team Fortress 2 and how similar they can be at times, I probably would just fall back onto that instead.
So your problem is the same as mine. We don't got time for that.
Yeah.
We have the same problem.
Andy, have you played Team Fortress 2?
I have not.
Yeah, there you
No.
go. There you go.
I haven't either.
My feeling on Overwatch is I'm probably gonna deal with it casually. I'm not gonna go in and learn all the characters. I'll probably just settle on one eventually that I really enjoy playing, and probably just build up level just over time. I feel like Overwatch is a long run game. You know, it's the kind of game you keep going back to. You play casually. Maybe you get better at it. Maybe you don't. I guess as long as you're having fun with it, that's the main point of the game. So yeah, I'm probably going to go back to it casually. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Well, you know, you start off that way, and then what might happen is you might actually start to really get good, and then your favorite character that you've been building up might be selected by someone else, and you're like, oh crap, I have to pick another character.
Oh,
and
we
then,
didn't even get into that. That's a whole other story.
Yeah. Oh, we're running out of time though, unfortunately. But I was just gonna bookend my point here by saying like you might start off casually, Andy, but if it's anything like Team Fortress 2, you might find yourself experimenting with characters on an organic level. Like you're not feeling pressured to try all the characters. You might find yourself, you know, just like slowly learning all the characters, either as opponents or as your own character. And I think you might get deep into the Overwatch goop.
Deep into the Overwatch goop.
It's goopy. Goopy.
It's fun.
I could just imagine it on the box. Overwatch. It's goopy droopy.
This is the goopy edition. Get the goopy.
Oh man.
Overwatch.
Okay, I feel like this. That's about the good ending. That's a good way to end it.
Yeah. So there we go. That was Overwatch. That about wraps that one up. Yeah.
We wrapped it straight up in the package.
It's
Bow and everything.
I just got a whole bunch of haters.
Yeah.
I hope I
possibly.
was fair. I feel like I kind of just threw it under a bus.
No, you were
I
fine. You were fine. I hope that fans know that I respect this game. But you know, it was just I'm just being real with y'all. I could have been just like, hey, it's the best game ever. It's really popular. But no, that's not me. So
Yeah, because the show's real.
It is.
Yeah.
It's real. All right. Do we say the poll or do we say what happens next week?
So we do have a poll. It's in the running, but while that kind of ties itself up, you guys really need to get voting on those because the votes have been considerably low. So what we're going to do instead,
come on,
exactly, get involved, make your voices heard. But
Democracy.
the next, anybody want to announce what we're playing next for the next week?
I'll do it. It's Crash Bandicoot.
The Insane Trilogy.
The Insane Trilogy.
It's insane. And I'm gonna be putting the unused video here where it's like Crash Bandicoot. Anything can happen when the crash is a pursuit. Crash Bandicoot.
And if you want to know what that video is, make sure you check out Beta 64's Crash Bandicoot episode while you wait for this episode of Game Club Podcast. Anyways, folks.
It's still going.
Yeah, I know.
I stopped.
Anyways, folks, that's the episode. If you want, you can follow us on the Twitters. We got our Twitter handlers right down below. If you need information about actual podcast hosts like iTunes and whatever, there's also information in the video description down below. And
all there.
if you haven't heard about one of us, you're coming from one person's channel and you want to check out one of our other ones, we have very similar content. So I do recommend that you check out our individual channels also in the vid description down below.
Oh, couldn't have said it better myself.
Literally,
all right, guys.
it's perfect.
We love you. Make sure you stay tuned next week.
I do love you.
Say goodbye,
I
guys.
really do. Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
Goodbye.
I love you more.
I love them all the more.
I've seen all of them, and I've loved every single one of them.
That's weird.
I know them by
I
name.
I don't like that one. I'm not gonna try to top that.